Good afternoon, Professor Saldana. My name is Raquel Blanchard. I am in your servant leadership class, and I would like to share with you the service project I did at Eagle Rock Baptist Church. I called it Faith in Action Through Service, and I want to talk to you in the presentation about the importance of leading the way Jesus did, acknowledging some of the resources you have shared with us this week. Picking Eagle Rock Baptist Church was easy for me. This church is known in the community for being a place where families and people can come and worship, but also a church that gives back to the community, it serves the community without expecting anything in return. Their mission statement is more people, more like Jesus, and that it shows in the ways that they allow themselves to be God's hands and feet with others that need it, with compassion, empathy, and no judging, but instead a servant heart that is ready to give back to them. So God called me to go and serve at the church, which is actually my church. As I was getting ready for the presentation, I was reading the article from Alajinka Randall, and she was talking about how being a black woman sometimes is difficult to be able to excel and to show your talents. And ERBC, it's actually a place that God has called me to serve in a bigger capacity and show my talents as a woman. And I am thankful that they actually encourage and support those like me that want to serve to other kids. In this picture, you see it right here. I am actually serving that Sunday morning, and leading children in worship and teaching them the Bible lesson of the day. So I'd like to finish this specific segment reminding us that God calls us to love uh, with actions and in truth. I serve in the Euro Kids ministry for about 5 hours that particular Sunday. Each Sunday, each week, Eagle Rock Baptist Church sets up the children's ministry after sharing its facilities with a school impacted by the Altadena fires here in California. So the kids ministry team, the volunteers, including myself that day, prepared the nursery, preschool, and elementary environments. I helped set up tables and chairs around and areas of playing time around. So I also helped the children uh, with their Bible lessons, worship time, and with some games. From the book Solid Ground, we learn that living a plentiful and happy life is not easy and requires sacrifice and time. This implies that for leaders to experience fulfillment in their servant role, they must serve with a heart of humility and servitude. And this is from T.W. Lewis. And I did see that day. That Sunday, I was able to uh, find myself seeing how hard people work, but also how much gratitude they have in their hearts for being there serving and expanding God's kingdom. And it allowed me to also be reminded that I have to do it with humility, serving, and in return, what I get is a heart full of joy. I would like us to pay attention to Robert Greenleaf statement about serving. And it says, start quote, the difference manifests itself in the care taken by the servant. First, to make sure that other people's highest priority needs are being served, end quote. What a wonderful statement to keep in mind for any people or anyone who serves. Why? Because we need to understand that when we're serving others, we are there to fulfill someone else's needs. At that point, it's not about us, it's not about the benefits that I get and the rewards, but it is about helping others to feel cared and loved, to empower them to reach their fullest potentials and capacities, and to help them grow spiritually and mentally. That particular morning, I had a situation where one of the small group leaders after serving for 15 years in children's ministry, was leaving. The need of that volunteer at that particular morning was someone to be there, to listen to her. She was feeling bittersweet, happy that she's been serving for so long and that the kids have learned with her through generations, but also she was sad. It's the end of a cycle in her life, and she is looking for something new. My role as a servant leader was to be there, encourage her, to let her know that God is in control, that God has a purpose for her. And that's one of the things that we need to be reminded, that the effects of us leading others, it's to help those who don't feel heard, to help those who are being marginalized or who didn't have the privilege and the resources to feel empowered, to feel value, and to know that they can also rise up to their potentials, to their max potential. And that's something that we're called to do, doing it with humility and care for them. To demonstrate positive influence to others and identifying couple of servant leadership skills, one that came to my mind clearly was the commitment to the growth of people. Because when we serve effectively, we see people growing, we see people excelling. This skill was shown throughout the morning when I was helping volunteers to feel confident in their roles through clear guidance, encourage, and that they felt appreciated. Taking time to thank volunteers for their service during setup and cleanup affirmed their value and strengthened their confidence that what they're doing really matters. Serving alongside them and providing the resources that they needed empowered them to grow, as we were saying, personally and spiritually, and encourage them to continue serving in other areas. One servant skill that I was able to practice with the other volunteers that morning was building community. Seeing the volunteers working hard together smoothly and joyfully was amazing. Each person understood their role, which improved effectiveness and fostered unity. The teamwork helped create a supportive, loving environment that strengthened relationships among and between each one of the volunteers and influenced the church community. It was great to see that everybody was working with one goal in mind, to have that space ready for families and children to come to a safe and clean place to worship God. And that was amazing, seeing everybody together working for one goal. As leaders, we need to be reminded that we are here to serve others with love and compassion. T.W. Lewis told us that Christian philanthropy comes from the heart. He said that everything we have, our possessions, our talents, are to serve in God's kingdom and to give them back to the Lord. And that is something that it's ingrained in every servant leader that wants to please God. Put together and connect his or her values and beliefs for the benefit of others, for others to grow, for others to be successful. And that's the Christian philanthropy, just helping others to grow in their minds, with their talents, physically, spiritually, for them to know that they're capable of doing it, that they are sufficient and efficient to do it, and they're competent. And when a servant leader does that with humility, it allows the others to grow. And I just want to finish saying that it is important that when we connect our values and beliefs to an attitude of humility and serving with love and joy to others, we see those fruits later. People who feel empowered to go out and reach their full potentials and capacities. And we have to keep in mind that we have Jesus as the role model and have to love and do it with humility. When a leader holds these values and beliefs, practicing them every day, listening, understanding, and have integrity, the volunteers feel empowered around to be successful and to be leaders themselves. And these relationships between servant leadership, values, and beliefs create significant takeaways. Organizations experience higher employee and volunteer satisfaction and retention, and institutions like our church, my church, strengthen family engagement and uphold a reputation of integrity. So, for us, the lesson is let's serve with love. Let's go out there serving without expecting anything in return. Let's go out serve when we serve. Let's keep in mind that it's all about those we serve for them to feel valued, understood, and acknowledged.